Hi, my name is Mike Whitaker, the founder of the Silver Crow Method and the Social Network Shaman, and I am with
Melanie Stewart of the Silver Crow Method as well.
and the Social Network Shaman. Okay, great. So you probably have seen us before on the channel and our interactions with you. Hopefully, if you're a member. Today, we're going to talk about the aftermath of the storm. And what exactly does that mean? So, the aftermath of the storm is basically a reflection of the things that happened during the storm and the learning or the medicines that we integrated during the storm of things we might like to change.
Right. Yeah, it's a time of reflection, a time of slowing down, a time of just stillness.
Exactly. Right. So before the storm, we talked about how people are anxious and how we channel that energy in a way, shape, or form that doesn't overload the nervous system, how we use different techniques to basically calm down and reflect, preparing for the storm. When we're in the storm, then we are using that balance to face the situations that we need to in case power goes out or something else happens, that we prepare as much as we can, and then to focus in on being as much in control of our own inner dialogue and emotions as we can. And the aftermath of the storm is basically like a report card. So it forces us to take a look at how did we react during the storm, and what are the different types of things that we could do to improve, like agreements, behaviors, things in our inner dialogue that basically almost led us to go either out of control or to be very emotional in a situation where we try to be as calm as possible.
Yeah.
Not always possible, but that's the goal.
There's also cleanup. There's also aftermath, if that is something that even in emotional storms, right?
Exactly.
There's the cleanup, the aftermath as well as a snowstorm.
Right, exactly. So the aftermath in that regards, so there's residual energy there. How do we basically get rid of any cords? If there any stuff there, we have another discussion where we talk about that. And then also, what is the energy? How can we work with that and ground ourselves after the aftermath? But for me, the lessons are always when we're in a situation where we tend to be emotional or tend to react or overreact in some way. The aftermath shows us what are the things that we could focus in on our next journeys, on our nervous system reset, Tai Chi, Qigong, all those different things that we use to make sure our inner dialogue is where it needs to be.
Right.
Okay, so some of the things in the inner dialogue that I had to process were basically that combination of how much do you prepare, how much is too much, and if you can only prepare a certain type of way because I'm on the road and I have a limited amount of supplies and things that I can get and a limited amount of time, how do I focus in on that specific amount of uncertainty that is there? And how do I cope with that, or how do I observe myself and change the inner dialogue to that? And part of that inner dialogue was grounding myself. I thought during the storm, it was important, okay, theoretically, the electricity could fail, it could fall out, a pipe could burst and there'd be potentially water in the room or something like that. What are the different things that I can prepare for in my sphere of influence? And what are the rest of the things that I just need to let go and just trust to an extent that things will work out for the right, in the right way?
Well, delays come to mind for myself because the aftermath of like a snowstorm creates delays at school, delays at work, delays in travel, delays in being able to roll out your driveway. It took me a little longer to get out of my driveway this morning than normal because there was so much cleanup to do. So if we want to bring that into also an emotional storm, right? Expect delays afterwards.
Yeah.
Right? Don't expect to just run out your door and carry on with your life as usual.
Right.
There's going to be delays because you're going to have to deal with the cleanup of whatever has happened.
Right. Right. And I think the cleanup and that energetic balance or that output of the energy that is happening, that basically shows us how we can concentrate on how we can concentrate on basically measuring, focusing in that energy in a way, shape, or form that lets us not overreact after the storm. So for instance, you mentioned it takes longer to get out of the driveway or people drive slower.
Yes.
So you could choose to say, okay, well, I'm getting peeved off and this person's driving too slow. Or you could focus in on, okay, well, that person's driving too slow. There's a lot of snow around. Maybe this is an opportunity for me to take a look at some stuff that I normally don't take a look at. And that change, although very minute, that does quite a bit for your own mental health. But more importantly, the energy and the frequency that you're on is much more positive than just focusing on the things that you don't want or that are not going the way you want them to, etc. So that aftermath is a very staunch lesson in those things too. So take things with a grain of salt, I think some people say. Chillax, I say.
I love chillax. Let's chillax.
Yeah, chillax. So, and then focus in on those things that happen to us in a way that is not overreacting. Like, try to find that space where instead of seeing something negative, see something positive and channel that, whichever way you can, with one modality or another, whether it's yoga, whether it's, meditation, whether it's grounding. Those things do help.
Well, I was the only one out on the road today, traveling, and I had green lights all the way, and there was no traffic, which is amazing. So I think also we can think about when you do go out after the storm, if you are one of those brave people or adventurous people that go out, you might just find that the road ahead of you is cleared, it's easy sailing, because you're the one that ventured out and dealt with it.
Mm-hmm. That's an interesting aspect because I dealt with both sides of that coin. So yesterday I drove out to get some supplies, which was Sunday. Today is Monday. Yeah, today's Monday. So a lot of the smaller streets around here, they weren't really, freed up. And
Right.
I think we had like a good, 8 or 9, like 9 inches of snow or
It
something?
depends on where the drifts were. I think it was like 12 to 8.
12 to 8. Okay, so it was quite substantial. And
Yeah.
me driving in a little car, of course, I'm the older generation, so I used to do donuts and stuff like that too. Yeah, just to make sure that you're acquainted with the snow. Also, another tip, not related, but if you do have to drive in snow, just do some preparations for that. Do donuts and stuff and feel what it feels like when you drift, because that happened to me yesterday. I was like driving on the roads to get something to drink and something to eat for dinner, and I just drifted. And I was like, okay, well, you're drifting. Just give a little bit of gas, straighten out the, I was going to say aircraft, the car. Kind of felt like I was flying, but, the car. And then just basically focus in on staying on the road, chilling out, and just keeping, being in control of the controls of the car, and just kind of trying to do the best that you can to maneuver and not get into an accident. So that was a thing where I'm like, okay, relax. You're drifting, we're drifting a little bit more. I'm getting a little bit anxious, but I'll keep my stuff together.
Yeah.
And then just keep going, and then it all worked out. So yeah, that was another lesson about breathing in and out and focusing and grounding.
Yeah, and we actually do have a tea for that, and it's called chillax.
Yeah. So, that's another thing. Should we talk about Silk Apothecary or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about
So, we are starting a new tea series. So, that is Silver Crow Apothecary. And we're working on that shop right now too, where there's different types of things that you can get.
Yeah, and that's what the snowstorm helped to bring about for that as well, as there was time because everything else was shut and stopped.
Yeah.
And so we were like, let's put this shop together.
I completely forgot about that. That's actually a good point. Yeah. There was a lot of time that we had on our hands, and trying to use that time to do something positive and to channel that energy. Someone have noticed I do have a lot of energy. I apologize for that sometimes, but or in general, but I try to use that energy in a way, shape, or form and channel that to do something positive. So a lot of that was, okay, well, let's focus in on building the shop and giving people the opportunity to get some stuff that we do, because we spend a lot of time to give you these videos and to give feedback on how can we help people to manage their nervous system. And I think a natural part and progression of that is the different tools and research that we do, both academically and with the different types of traditional Chinese medicine and teas. We try to think about and do research on teas that really make a difference. So the different types of mixes in the plants that we use, kind of like a plant medicine type thing, where the teas are complementary to each other and they really handle certain things. Anything from, radiation detox, which is important if you use a lot of cell phone stuff like me.
Or fly out.
or you fly a lot
Get
and you're exposed.
X-rays.
Yeah, exactly. That's one thing. A lot of us tend to forget that we need to take care of the body with that, especially if you fly a lot, like I do. And there's other teas like the Silver Crow tea, which is about relaxing. There's different notes of cinnamon and other types of components in there, and sage to basically
green tea.
and green tea to basically flush out and keep the system well organized and running. I would suggest if you're looking for teas, check them out. They're really good. I mean, the mix master is right here. She mixes.
So everything's thoughtfully curated. All the ingredients together work in combination to help specific things. Like we have a liver detox tea that helps to detox the liver. We have a tea it's called Wake Me Up Inside, which is amazing. It's some black tea and orange and cinnamon.
Yep.
So all of those ingredients help to make you feel invigorated. We're going to be adding the cacao to it as well. It's not a tea, but we've been doing some ceremonial cacao with a journey work.
Yeah.
So we thought it makes sense to create a cacao.
So we did a cacao ceremony. If you haven't seen that, I strongly suggest that you check out that video on the Facebook channel. Also, like and subscribe to our Facebook channel.
Yes, and share our YouTube.
Exactly.
YouTube. Friend.
Right. And then there's 2 different websites. One of them is the shop, and we'll do an official announcement on that pretty soon. The other one is basically Silver Crow Method, the Silver Crow method.org. Check that website out for the information on the Silver Crow Method. And with that, I think the cacao ceremony was really interesting because it was about opening up the heart. And when we think about the storm, emotions, regulating, etc., I think there's a common thread there on how the cacao ceremony teaches us again to be focused on the heart and to focus in on the energies that are around the heart. What are the things that are serving us? What is the inner dialogue that we need to do around the heart? Letting in connections, blocking others that no longer serve us, and also blocking that negative energy that tends to impact us in situations like this one, right?
Also, opening up our heart is also opening up our intuition.
Yeah.
Right? So we're getting out of the head space, and we're going into the heart space, and we're building that energy up there. Yeah. So it's really bringing us more into a heart-centered way of approaching life rather than always being in the head space and our brain dictating how we run our world around us.
Right. The interesting thing about heart and mind is you talk about the heart-mind connection, and there's actually academic studies that prove that the heart does contain different types of cell material that are the same as the brain. So when you say the heart or think with your heart, there's some truth to that too. Why is that important? If we're focusing in on things that are positive or negative, they influence our heart. And therefore, if our intuition is disturbed, part of that could be the inner dialogue that we're doing, which goes back to agreements and the other stuff that we talked about. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that was an interesting one.
Right, and when we do the cacao, when we have that cacao ceremony before we do the journey work, since it's opening up the heart and it's bringing us closer to our intuition, I think it's enhancing, I know it's enhancing the journey work and connecting to those answers that we're looking to get.
Right, exactly. Yeah, so there was a journey that we did after the cacao ceremony, or during the cacao ceremony. Again, if you get a chance, please see that. And it'll allow you to go through that journey for yourself as well. And then just let us know what are the things that you saw, the topics that you saw in that journey, and we can have another discussion on that. If there are any other details that you like about that ceremony, we're going to be doing some more cacao ceremonies because we found that it resonates with a lot of people.
It does.
Yeah, and for that in the future.
There are a lot of people who need help opening up their heart space. And so, do you need to have cacao to open up your heart space? No, you can do it different ways through meditation and stuff like that. It's kind of like a permission slip almost.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's people need that permission slip, that external prompt, like we're opening up the heart space, and it does actually help to open up that heart space as well.
Yeah.
But it's definitely one of those things where it enhances the experience. And if you've never had the opportunity to know what that feels like to have your heart space open up, it's a little mind-blowing.
It is.
I mean, every time we do it, I do it, and we hold that cacao with intention, and we say our intentions into that drink before we consume it. I'm feeling my heart space open even more. And it's through the heart space that we, bring forth these things into our reality.
Right. And especially specifically about opening the heart in the journey. Some of the things that I was seeing and focusing in on was every time you breathe in, the embers glow, and every time you breathe out, they are slightly dimmer. And that glow inside the heart, the passion, the energy, the things that are going on, the connections that you have with the people during that ceremony, that blew my mind. I mean, that was wow.
Yes. So the connection that you're making with the people that you're in community with as well is amazing. And for me, whenever I do either a moon meditation or any kind of gathering, it's really not about that meditation part as much as the sharing afterwards, because people almost need to feel validated that what they felt, what they saw was it was something. It wasn't just like a figment of their imagination, or it was just like a flighty little thought that fluttered by. It's like getting that validation that yes, that meant something.
Right. Yeah, especially during that journey work, there were connections with some of the people that were there, and in the after discussion, which was like longer than the entire ceremony, we were discussing the points during that journey of some of the folks that were there, what were the things that they were experiencing, and that was really awesome. So another tip from me, if you do get a chance, even if they're online, we'd really appreciate if you do take the time to come to our sessions, because we do put a lot of work into these things, and we'd like to give you those things so that you can have that for free, those videos. But it's also good in the Zoom meetings, for these specific ones that we do for free, that we have people that are there, because the more that we can share and experience together, the more experience we have about what is the inner dialogue that's going on, what are some of the insights that we have from other people, and it puts things in a different perspective. And I think that's just as important, because when we're in that space, whether it's the heart that's closed, we want to open it more, we want to have more feelings, we want to have more connections with people, meaningful connections. We sometimes think that we're alone and we're doing something wrong. And with these discussions, especially the ceremonies, you find more often than not, that people are experiencing similar things, and that there's different things that we can learn from other people's perspectives.
Absolutely. And so it allows people to leave with that heart open and that heart chakra activated, and for them to carry that through the rest of their day, their family, their work environment, when they go out in public. And, we're in a time where a lot of people are closing off their heart to protect themselves.
Right.
So what we should be doing is actually activating our hearts and have that ripple out through the collective.
Right. Understanding what it means to be human, the humanity in life, understanding not only passion but also serving others and finding that connection in a meaningful and positive way is very important, because at the end of the day, one of the strengths of humanity is that we have a sense of community. And that means whether you're wearing a uniform or whether you're doing other things, it's important for us to not forget that each one of us is going through something, and you don't necessarily always know what other people are going through. So being friendly, opening up your heart to understand and to intercept those emotions of what's going on with others helps us to be better people.
It does. And it gets reflected right back to us.
Oh yeah. It's better having your heart open than having your heart closed. You can participate more in life, and that's what humanity is about, and humans are. And just being compassionate and finding that route to doing something. You can do something in an optimized kind of way like AI, or you can do something in a way that resonates with you as a human being, and that offers so much more than just resolving a solution. That connection and being human and being compassionate helps us a lot more.
Yes. So the aftermath of the storm.
Getting back to the points.
Yeah, we could absolutely open up our hearts
Right.
a lot more. And that does happen. We like to help our neighbors to remove snow. We check in on people to see how they're doing.
Oh yeah, checking in on people, that's important too.
Yeah. So it is it is an opportunity. It's another permission slip.
Yeah.
Like that cacao is.
Yeah.
To open up your heart chakra.
Right. Yeah. Talk to people. Be open. Open up your heart. You know, if someone needs help, then help them. It is more rewarding to help people rather than to decide to close your heart, because then you close yourself off of all of those experiences that you could be experiencing through different conversations and dialogue with other people. You can look at people as strangers, but every stranger has a story. Every stranger has their medicine. And if you close your heart, you will not be open to the medicines that you should be receiving in some cases, or in many cases. So open up your heart, receive the medicine. It's a good thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. I think on that note, this one's a wrap.
Yeah, this one's a wrap. Thanks a lot. And like I said, click and subscribe to our YouTube channel, to the Facebook channel or group that we have, and also follow our Instagram. And soon, when the web shop is out, we'll let you guys know.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. See you next time.